Hello and welcome to your daily dose of alignment. So today we're going to be talking about this amazing concept, which is really simple and really obvious, but so often missed or ignored. And that is, whatever you think about, you move towards. Now, I think for most of us, in a lot of ways, that seems obvious, but how often are we putting it into practice? So I'm Kylie Ansett. I am the alignment whisperer to the wild ones, the weird ones, the wonderful ones. That's you. And I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia. And I love talking about these topics that are all about alignment and how we can live a life on purpose, of purpose, and make the most of it. So, as I said, this is all about whatever we think about, we move towards. So, the most obvious way I experienced this in my life was when I used to ride my horse, and wherever I would look, my horse would actually go towards. There's like this kind of inbuilt messaging that goes between your eyes, your body, and then what the horse responds to. So you'd be very careful where you were looking because whatever you happen to look towards, that's where the horse would go. And you might notice this when you're driving, the same kind of thing happens. Wherever you look, you kind of, unless you override that intention, that's where you move towards. Well, here's the thing. What we do with our thoughts on a moment-to-moment basis, and that is the key, that moment-to-moment basis, that is the absolute key to this. Whatever we do with our thoughts, that's where we move towards, energetically, vibrationally, and then in the real world. So that's kind of the magic, and it's also a little bit of the scary thing, because it really does mean that, I'm sure you've heard this term, you create your own reality. Well, this is how we create our own reality. It starts as a thought. Every single thing that is in existence began as a thought somewhere, somehow, and now we are creating our future realities by what we're thinking now. So here's the thing. If you tend to stress about things or worry about things, or you get concerned and forward think how things might go wrong, sometimes we think this is a way of avoiding the problem, because we're trying to think out any potential issues that might happen down the track. But it does the opposite. You're actually pre-paving for the very thing you don't want to happen. Now, that's really hard, especially, I know, if you're a mother. This is the kind of thing we do constantly. We're always like 5 steps ahead of where our kids are going to be, so that we can kind of jump in and stop them from falling off the cliff or doing every other crazy things that they're going to do. So it's incredibly inbuilt. But we are creating our reality with every single thought that we think. So start this practice. I have found this invaluable on a moment-to-moment basis. Now, obviously, how many moments of any day are we actually aware of where our thoughts are? Probably like less than 1%. But even if you just catch yourself once or twice through the day, and if you're having a thought that is not feeling good, that's kind of the barometer for whether this is something that's heading you in the direction that you want to go towards, some kind of reality that is something you would be happy to manifest, as opposed to some kind of reality which is the opposite. Does this thought make me feel good or not good? That's the question to ask yourself. Is it a satisfying thought or an unsatisfying thought? That is really it. It's as simple as that. Now, if it's an unsatisfying thought, then the trick is basically to stop thinking it. I know, sometimes easier said than done, but I've got millions and millions of techniques. Okay, that might be exaggerating. I've got a few techniques that can help, and I'm going to be going through those over the coming days and weeks, but techniques to help us get out of these habitual thought patterns. So the thing is, number one, to catch yourself. Number two, to ask, does this thought make me feel good or not? Now, that's a different question to, is this a good thought or not? Because let's say, go back to say the mother trying to protect her child, we might think that is a good thought because I'm concerned for his safety, and so I'm being responsible and so on and so forth. But that's not the question you're asking here. And the question is, does this make me feel good or satisfied? Or does this make me feel unsatisfied? So if it's something that induces anxiety and stress and worry and feelings of tension in your body, then that's a thought that is unsatisfying. It's not making you feel good in that moment. And you transform it, you let go of it, you change it in some way. And I've got lots of videos on different techniques on how you can change those thoughts in the moment. But the first thing is to catch it. The second thing is to identify it. And then the third thing is to let go of it, because what you're doing is whatever you are thinking about, you're moving towards. Now, you may be thinking about, some disaster. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're moving towards that exact replication of that disaster, but you're moving towards the energetic, vibrational reality. So if that disaster, whatever, has a vibration of stress, anxiety, fear, etc., then you're moving towards a reality that has that. Not only are you moving towards it, but in this moment, which I'm sure if you are a spiritual person who has any concept of the way our lives kind of are, all we ever have is this moment. So not only are you moving towards a future that is filled with that vibration, but the vibration you are living in this moment, which is all we ever have, is also similarly not a pleasant one. So you're creating a present that is unpleasant and a future that's going to be unpleasant. So stop it. Stop doing it. Stop it. It doesn't help you. Now, I know for myself, I would never say I was a hugely worrying type, but absolutely I have had moments and times and days and weeks and months where I've had obsessive thinking about various things that have happened or that I'm worried are going to happen. And it destroys your present, and it very much creates the kind of future that you do not want and that is not a pleasant one. So I really understand this tendency of having a habitual thought pattern and blindly following it and having so much momentum that is built up behind it that it almost feels impossible to get off that thought pattern. So keep watching, because I'm going to have loads of videos that are going to give you some tips on how to get off that treadmill when there's a lot of momentum going. But for now, the trick is to catch yourself, be aware, check in. Does this feel satisfying or unsatisfying? And then make a decision from that point. Okay. I have enjoyed spending my time with you here. Tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments. I always love to hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for playing with me here in this space where we're creating a life of purpose on purpose. I appreciate you. Bye.